We were talking about the different ways that stories fall under that umbrella that I call sensationalized, where you do just have that one little slice. It's either the worst moment or the heroic moment, or the epic kind of the flood came, or the happy, happy, happy ending, which isn't really an ending, it's just part of the process. And I think we have to do those stories because we do work fast, and we're going to follow a situation over time. You can't always write the whole thing. Matter of fact, we can seldom write the whole thing. But I think we at least have to recognize that each of those stories we're doing sits somewhere on that progression, and we have to let people in on knowing that this came from somewhere and it's going somewhere, so they don't think everything lives in that finite little box. But yes, these kinds of stories they're Lord of the Rings, Cinderella's story. This is the classic, compelling story that human beings have been telling over and over and over since the beginning of humanity. I have a friend who once told me that, because folks in my world get together around probably too many drinks and argue about this stuff. And this friend of mine who studied literature, because I haven't, said there are only two storylines in all of human history. A man takes a journey and a stranger comes to town. And I said, well, wait a minute. What about boy meets girl, boy loves girl, boy loses girl? And he said, oh, well, that's a man takes a journey and a stranger comes to town. I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. The whole story of Jesus Christ is a man takes a journey and a stranger comes to town. And so we look for those archetypes. A lot of us who work in the world of narrative journalism look for archetypes. And it helps us find storylines that are going to work. Because if you can find one that fits an archetype, you know you have stuff to work with. And if you can actually follow that, the key is not to turn the archetype into a stereotype and not to overdo the archetype. To me, finding a story that's an archetype, ugly duckling turns into a swan, rise from the ashes, whatever, is a way to help me know I have a story worth following. Then I set it aside, because that is Hollywood. That's my fairy tale book back home, and I do the story in front of me.